Remember how I told you guys that I'm choosing 3 of you to give you dreadlocks? I'm going to be announcing the winners at the end of today's video, so stay tuned. Today I am going to be cutting some dreadlocks. I actually still have my 2-strand twists in from over a week ago. So that just goes to show that 2-strand twists are grade approved. 2-strand twist is honestly my favorite hairstyle because it helps lock up the dreadlocks. It stays in very well and they look good. But the honest issue is this: I have to cut some of my dreadlocks, and not off, but I am gonna be splitting some of my dreadlocks. So I have to find the dreadlocks I need to split and then split them. Now, of course, why would I want to split what seems to be some good looking dreadlocks? And the truth is, some of them are just too thick for my liking. Allow me to explain. Alright, so let's look at it this way. There are different sizes of sections. So you have a big section, a medium section, and a small section. Now, the size of the section determines the size of the dreadlock. But there is one thing to take note of right here. Dreadlocks over time can become skinnier and skinnier, and really just keep on getting skinnier at the length of them. But the issue here is that it doesn't match here anymore. So with that being said, no matter what happens, the dreadlocks will always continue to get skinnier because they're continuing to become mature. Now with the dreadlocks being more mature, they become skinnier, but that doesn't make the section smaller. So instead of having a lot of dreadlocks, you now have a few. Now of course this is all based on what you want for your dreadlocks, but I personally want a lot of dreadlocks, and this is how to solve it. Now not only do I want a lot of dreadlocks, I want them all to be roughly the same size. And let's face it, they're not all the same size. So there's only 3 things I can really do. That's either cut them, comb them out, or separate them by hand. So I definitely don't want to have to cut them. I don't want to have to comb them out. I want to separate them by hand. So guys, let's get into the ones that I need to separate so that they can be the right size. Now the only way I'm going to be able to properly select the ones that need to be separated, I'm going to have to do a twist out on my 2-strand twist. I'm really excited to see what they're going to look like. As I'm twisting out my dreadlocks, I wanted to show some love to DREADLOCKS.com. DREADLOCKS.com literally has every single thing you need for your dreadlocks. If you're wondering how people get instant dreadlocks, it's by using the DREADLOCKS crochet hook, and that's on DREADLOCKS.com. And also, if you want to maintain your roots, if you have a lot of new growth, then the DREADLOCKS interlock tool is perfect for that. And for all of you who are new or who haven't heard, all the prices on DREADLOCKS.com are up to 50% off right now, so make sure to shop now at DREADLOCKS.com. I just finished the twist out, and there is way more thick dreadlocks than I expected, so I have my work cut out for me. Alright guys, the goal here is to eliminate as much breakage as possible. So with that being said, I don't want to break any hair, and I definitely don't want to have to use any scissors. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, before we get into it, I want to show you what the hair is looking like. Alright, so right off the bat you can tell the dreadlocks on the top, they look okay. There are a few that I need to fix. Most of the issue is all on the back. All those dreadlocks back there are like bigger sections, and that's just a huge no-no because first off, the hair on the back of the head is going to turn out thicker anyway, so the dreadlocks are going to be thicker. But I really want all of my sections to be the exact same size so that they look good outside of hairstyles, and also they're easy to do hairstyles with, because a lot of people don't know that sometimes the hairstyle doesn't look right. Say you do 2-strand twist, or if you do braids, it doesn't look good because your sections are off. As you guys can see, somewhere along the line, this got combined. So guys, let's get straight into it. All right guys, let's get started with this one. We're gonna go ahead and just twist it a little bit. And the goal is to really just separate it at the right spot. And to be honest, I feel like this one's gonna be quite easy. But I'm gonna do this one the same way I'm gonna do all the others. Well, to be honest guys, like this one is literally unraveling all the way, so this one's not even gonna be an issue at all. That just goes to show that this one was not nowhere near mature, which I'm hoping we have the same thing with the rest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rat tail comb, thread this through right here, to the other side. Go up all the way as far as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and put my finger in here now, and then now I have a good grip on where I need to separate. And guys, to be honest, I'm extremely excited that this one isn't that mature until, of course, you get right here. You guys can see where that lock was actually at, and you guys can pretty much just call the rest new growth that I just separated, although that's not really the case. But you're gonna see how easy this one is compared to the ones that are more mature in the back, which in this case, maturity is kind of like, it's good, then it's bad, because I'm trying to get rid of some of these sections properly. All right, I feel like my section is good. I can always go back in and clean it up, but I'm literally just gonna pull. When doing this, guys, make sure that none of the tension is on the scalp. So you see I'm pulling away. See how the hair is all the way out? What I wanna do is I wanna pull it back to the scalp as far as possible. Obviously with both of my hands on both of these sections that now I have. I don't wanna pull anywhere near the scalp. That's why I have it close to the scalp, but I'm at where I need to separate. I'm just gonna pull just like this, guys. Like you guys can see that right there. I'm just pulling the front out. Take your time. And just like that, those two are separated. What I am gonna do, since majority of my hair is now mature, that section looks good. Just make sure the hair that I need in there is out. Use the comb to get your section properly. Combing that hair in, combing this hair back. All the hair I want in there is most likely in there. And I will say that it's good to do this while your sections are fresh. Like I just did that twist out. Really important, because that means that I'm not gonna have any hair from any other dreadlock in the one that I'm dealing with right now. Now I am most likely gonna put my hair back in 2-strand twist in today's video, so that these can mature a little bit. But just to give it a quick head start, I'm gonna be using the DREADLOCks crochet hook on this dreadlocks, on the dreadlocks that I'm separating so that they can go back to where they were. And I'm just matching the style. You guys are gonna be able to see that in today's video. But guys, a link to this is down in the description below. And it is in the size 0.75. And the reason we switched to 0.75 is because it's more universal and diverse for any hair type versus the 0.5. Plus with the bigger head on it, it creates dreadlocks quicker. So let's get started. You guys already seen how this is literally not a dreadlock yet. And we're just gonna take it, starting at the root, about 1 inch up. And then just create a lock really quick. Now keep in mind, I'm only doing a little bit so that it matches the rest of the dreadlocks. All right, so you guys can see how quickly I turned this into a dreadlock. And I'm actually gonna fix up the tip a little bit. But there you go. A little bit of hair came out. One down and the rest to go. I'm obviously going to turn this one into a lock as well. But let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the head. And yeah, I just wanted to show you this first one. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one into a lock too. Well, I'll show you guys. And the reason I'm doing this is so it matches back to where it was. Now, of course, this wasn't even really locked up, because the hair is still going to be locked up in the part that it was originally. It's just going to be a skinnier dreadlock. But I want these to speed up because I know the ones on the back of the head are way more mature than the ones on top. And the biggest reason why I'm doing this is because when I put my hair back in 2-strand twists, I definitely don't want the hair to start combining again. Because if the hair is loose, it will combine with the one next to it. And that's what you don't want to happen. And it's always good when doing hairstyles to make sure your hair is, I would say, in a pretty good section or somewhat mature. Now, of course, you do hairstyles to make your hair more mature, but in this case, I just don't want anything to combine back to the way it was, because there was a point to where all of my sections were done properly, and then just over time of allowing it to semi-freeform, some got combined and kind of just got lost in the mix. But there you go, I just did 2 of those, separated those 2, and just you could just see how much of a difference that makes of instead of that being just one dreadlock. Although it looks the same width, the section is now smaller, which then it's just gonna look more uniform when doing hairstyles and all these other things. So now I'm just gonna make sure all the rest are really good to go. And I'm also gonna have Candace helping me because I'm not gonna be able to see the ones in the back, and I definitely don't want to mess this up, so let's get into it. All right, let's go through the steps one more time so you guys get a better look. This dreadlock is a rectangle at the section. We don't want it to be a rectangle, we want it to be a square. And that's just a sure sign that these got combined somewhere in the mix because they weren't like that before. So first things first, I'm going to go counterclockwise, unraveling it. This should unravel it as much as possible. The best way to figure out how to do this properly, if you typically twist your dreadlocks with your right hand, you're typically going clockwise. If you twist with your left hand, naturally, it's going to go counterclockwise, and that's how you unravel it. Obviously, vice versa if you did it the other way. Now guys, this one's going to be a little bit tough. I can feel that this one is pretty mature. But what I want to do is I want to line up this section with the section right in front of it. I'm not going to brick it because that wasn't how it was originally done. So all I'm doing is matching this section, going from this section to the section behind it. So see how I'm going in right here? There's that section right here, so I'm going to put the tip of this right here. I'm going to go through the root of this, find where I need to go right here. Honestly, I think that's good. And just separate it. So you can see how that section looks right there. And really all we're going to do now is separate. You should be able to feel it with your hands too and see if it's thick enough or if it's not. And obviously you can compensate either way. But this section's ready to go. I'm going to separate it. And like I said, this one's a little bit more mature. So you just got to be careful. And see how I have this. I'm going to give you guys a quick tip really quick before I finish this off. I'm using 2 fingers to go in between. And when I'm separating, I'm not using my index fingers. I'm using that to hold the hair. These are the fingers I'm using to separate. And all you're doing, you're going to be hearing popping. And that's just because the hair is getting loose. Some of it is breaking. And that's just one of the things you have to know. And to be honest, I'm actually going to soak this because it is a little bit more mature. So I'm going to put some water on it. I'm using warm water because that allows the hair to flex a little bit. With the hair flexing, it's not going to break as much. It'll just kind of stretch a little bit. Do it slowly because you don't want it to go too quick. And if it's done properly, it's going to get a clean break all the way down. I can start to feel it giving. Just keep moving. I can get more fingers in there now, makes it a little bit more safe. And there you go. So you have both of these. There's a bud at the end of this one, that's why it looks a little bit thicker. And you'll see that that wasn't even attached, but we're going to keep it in there anyway. And got that separated as well. We're going to do the same steps with locking this back in. Just going to comb these in. Twist it clockwise, how you twist the rest of your hair. And of course, I'm going to go in with my DREADLOCKS crochet hook. Starting out about 1 inch or 1/2 inch from the scalp. Creating the initial lock. Should only take about 10 seconds, which that initial lock is already done. Then I just build on top of that initial lock all the way down while rotating the dreadlock. Right here, it doesn't matter if you go clockwise, counterclockwise. You typically want to go back and forth. Go clockwise, counterclockwise, and then keep going back and forth, which gives it a cylindrical lock. And it won't unravel because you're going both directions. If you were to keep going clockwise on using the crochet hook, you're going to end up having it unravel because all of your locks are going the same direction. With this, it pretty much interlocks it, although it's not interlocking at the root. What you're doing is, say you grab hair, you pull it through while turning clockwise, push it back in, lock it up, go counterclockwise as you're pulling that hair, and it's going both ways like a basket weave. Now I'm going to just touch up on the tip a little bit, not too much so it can match the rest of the dreadlocks. And just like that. It's really as simple as that, it's really quick. And that's as much as I want to do. And then I want it to kind of lock up on its own over time. And this is how I like to maintain my locks because it allows it to lock up on its own over time. I'll go ahead and do this one now. I'm seeing if I can split this one too. But I think that section looks good. So, turning clockwise, And one thing you're noticing about this lock is it's pretty well put together because it was already well put together beforehand. So I'm only just going to touch up the blank spots or the soft areas, just down by the roots. Kind of tighten up the area that was already there. And it's really as simple and as quick as that. That's why I really like this tool. And you see how quick I'm going through? And that's because this is a 0.75 versus a 0.5. 0.5 can get the job done, but it takes a little bit longer. With this, it's able to grab more hair, and it gets the job done quicker. Both of those done. And you can already see the difference on the front look of the head. Since I separated those two, it creates 4 dreadlocks instead of 2 dreadlocks, giving it more dreadlocks. Makes the head look more full, and it obviously makes the dreadlocks more skinny. Now we're going to start working backwards. I'm going to get as much done on the top on the top and the front as I can, and then I'm going to have Candace look at the back, and then we might have to divide those into 4s because some of them are actually really thick. So when we get to those big ones, I'm going to show you what that looks like. And then we're going to go back like that. After I say we've turned 2 dreadlocks and 8 dreadlocks, then you're going to show them, right? Okay. Alright guys, so we just turned 2 dreadlocks into 8 dreadlocks, and we're about to show you how it looks turning these next 2, which is these 2, right? We're going to turn these 2 dreadlocks right here into 8 dreadlocks again. And it's crazy because it's just 2 dreadlocks, but the sections are really big and they have to be broken down to make it look right. So, I'll show you guys, this is the before, just 2. And this is what it's looking like afterward. Turn it into 8 dreadlocks. And you guys can see, like, this is what was hidden in there. It didn't look like it, but those sections are so big, and like the demonstration I showed you on paper earlier, it doesn't matter the size of the dreadlock length, it matters the size of the section, because no matter what, it's going to keep compressing down to the proper size, but the section is really what matters. But look at that. These are all those dreadlocks that were hidden inside of there. But we're going to finish doing these, and you guys are going to be able to see the difference once we're done. We're going to show you what it looks like after we do all the dreadlocks we want to do, and then I'm going to put them back into 2-strand twists, and then you're going to be able to see the difference between those two of doing the 2-strand twist with the sections bigger, and then now doing the 2-strand twist with the sections being smaller. You're just going to be able to see the difference with the hairstyles. So let's get into it. Alright guys, we took a quick break and we're back at it again. I wanted to show you the top of the head before I get into the rest of the hair. And you're really going to see a drastic change between what it looks like now versus what it's going to look like afterward. I'm really excited with how this is turning out, and I'm excited to do so many different hairstyles with how this is going. Alright, so this is what the top of the head is looking like. See right here? See how many sections there are? There's very few, and I really want to just increase the number of dreadlocks because it just allows you to kind of just blend everything in a whole lot better when it comes to hairstyles, sectioning out your hair, parting the hair. And I'm telling you, you guys can see what this looks like right here, and you're gonna see how it looks like afterward. Alright guys, we finished with the separation. And right off the bat, it already looks like I have a ton more dreadlocks. It just needs a little bit more maintenance. Let's do a quick 360. Look at this left side. My tips are very puffy because of it kind of splitting out when I would pull it apart. I'm actually gonna get some other angles right now so you guys can see what it looks like right now versus what it's about to look like after we do some maintenance. Alright guys, my hair is a mess, so I have to get into this 2-strand twist, retwist. Let's go. Woo. So I told you I was gonna announce the winners in today's video, so drum roll please. Here we go. 3 winners. 3, 2, 1. These are the 3 winners of the contest, or whatever you want to call it. Congratulations, you guys. I've already been emailed. Yeah, you're getting dreadlocks. The reason I popped up their photos because I don't know their exact names, because you know how people's emails are. Yeah, congratulations guys, and I'm really excited. Those videos are going to be coming out very soon, and we're just going to check availability and then see when you guys want your dreadlocks done. And I'm excited to actually do them and show you guys not only how to do dreadlocks on other people, but also dreadlocks on 3 different hair types, because they all have 3 different hair types, so that's going to be exciting. But you guys, that's today's video. Hope you really enjoyed me separating all of my dreadlocks. I literally doubled, maybe even tripled the amount of dreadlocks that I have. But that was today's video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. But on that, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you guys do have an amazing day. Matter of fact, have a great day. Peace. God bless.